Hi students, and welcome to today's lesson. I'm Ms. Bushnell. Today we will explore the question, what objects can cause a solar eclipse? Are you ready? Grab your pencil and your science journal and let's get started.
Let's look at our class model. Remember, during a solar eclipse, people observe that it gets dark outside and temperatures get cooler as the sun's light and thermal energy are briefly blocked from reaching Earth. In our last lesson, we observed this space view diagram of the Sun, Earth, and Alpha Centauri A. These types of models can help people compare the sizes and locations of objects in space. Let's draw a space view model of the Sun and Earth to help us continue to investigate solar eclipses. Here is Earth and here is the Sun. Where would an object need to be located to block the Sun's light and thermal energy from reaching Earth? What if the object were located here? Would an object here block the Sun's energy from reaching Earth? No, the Sun's energy could still reach Earth. Would an object located here block the Sun's energy from reaching Earth? Yes, if an object were located between the Sun and Earth, that object would block the Sun's light and thermal energy from reaching Earth. So during a solar eclipse, an object must be located directly between the Sun and Earth. What object or objects might be found in this location? Do you think the moon is between Earth and the Sun? Maybe. Or maybe you think another planet is between Earth and the Sun. I think we need more information to answer this question. Today, we will explore objects in space as we begin to answer the question, what objects can cause a solar eclipse? Let's begin by learning more about the planets to determine whether planets can cause a solar eclipse on Earth. We can use these planet cards. Each of these cards has a picture of a planet and information about that planet. Let's start by looking for some similarities between the planets. What similarities do you notice between the planets? Do you notice that all the planets are round? I noticed that too. And look at the path of each planet. All the planets travel around the Sun. What differences do you notice between the planets? I notice that all the planets are different colors. And the information on the cards tells us that many of the planets are different sizes. What else do you notice? Do you notice that the planets are all different distances from the Sun? And look, some of the planets are made of different materials. Some are rock, some are gas, and some are ice and gas. Let's look at the similarities again. We notice that all the planets travel, or orbit, the Sun. To orbit means to travel around, such as when an object in space moves around another object in a regular path. All the planets, including Earth, orbit the Sun. Let's look at our space view model again. How can we show that Earth orbits the Sun on this model? Do you think we can draw a line to show Earth's path around the Sun? Great idea. Hey, do you think we can use information from the cards to help us determine whether a planet can pass between the Sun and Earth? Yes, we can use each planet's distance from the Sun to figure out whether a planet can pass between the Sun and Earth. Let's put the planets in order according to their distance from the Sun. We can see that Earth is 93 million miles from the Sun. Do you see any planets that are closer to the Sun than Earth? Look, Venus is 67 million miles from the Sun, and Mercury is only 36 million miles from the Sun. All the other planets are farther away than Earth, so let's put these 3 planets in order. We can start with Mercury, which is closest to the Sun. Next comes Venus, and then Earth. Which planet should we put after Earth? Mars comes next, at 142 million miles away from the Sun. Jupiter is 484 million miles away. And Saturn is 891 million miles away. We have 2 planets left. Which comes next? Uranus. Uranus is 1,784 million miles away from the Sun. And last, Neptune is 2,795 million miles away. Great work putting all the planets in order, but now we need to add them to our space view model. Let's draw and label each planet in order. Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune. Next, let's add lines to show that each planet orbits the Sun. This model represents some parts of the solar system. The solar system is the Sun and all the objects that travel around it. All the planets we observe today are part of our solar system. Remember, we are exploring the question, what objects can cause a solar eclipse? We are looking for an object that can pass between the Sun and Earth to block the Sun's light. Look at our solar system diagram. Do you think any of the planets can cause a solar eclipse? Do you notice that Venus and Mercury are between Earth and the Sun? I noticed that too. Do you think one of these planets can cause a solar eclipse? Maybe. Let's make some observations to determine whether either Mercury or Venus can cause a solar eclipse. Look at these two photographs. The large circle in each photograph is the Sun. The first photograph shows Mercury passing between the Sun and Earth on November 11, 2019. The second photograph shows Venus passing between the Sun and Earth on June 5, 2012. What do you notice about the photographs? Look, Mercury is a really tiny dot. Venus looks bigger than Mercury, but it is still just a small circle. Mercury and Venus are in front of the Sun, but they do not block the whole Sun. These photographs show us that Mercury and Venus do not block enough of the Sun's light to cause a solar eclipse. So Mercury and Venus cannot cause a solar eclipse. Let's use our new knowledge about planets to update our class chart. But I think we need a new section. We can call this new section the planets. Let's write, Earth and other planets in the solar system orbit the Sun at different distances. I think we are also ready to add a title to our chart. This chart describes some parts of the solar system. So let's call this chart Solar System. We will add to this chart as we continue to explore the solar system. Your task after this lesson will be to update this chart. Great! But we still do not know what objects can cause a solar eclipse. I guess we will have to keep exploring in our next lesson. Let's review your task for today. Update the chart.